Okay, guys, so if you have a Hoover Spinscrub and you wanted to find a pump, I found a pump. Thanks to one of our viewers, they were able to leave a comment for us, and we tracked it down. We were able to find a pump on Amazon. There's a link in the description. This quick video is going to show you how to access the Quick Connect pump and replace it. And then it's a real simple process. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't. So let's get started, man. I wanna kind of get to this so you guys can see how to take this apart and how to change out this pump. It's really simple. I may even get a little bit into the turbine because there was someone that was having an issue with suction, not suction, but the brushes weren't turning, and they said that the brushes were turning. And if you have this problem, let me know. The brushes were turning um, when it's off the carpet, and the moment it hit the carpet, it stopped turning. And I think I know what the problem is. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. So while I go through this little demo, take a look, and maybe you can find whatever you're going through. Maybe you can find a solution there. Okay, so let me see if I can kind of switch up this overhead cam for you so you can see what I'm doing, and we can go from there. Okay, all right. Okay, so here we go, folks. All right. All right, here we go. Let me get my screw, my screw gun. All right. Okay. I'm already dropping screws, guys. All right. So there are you're gonna have two screws here at the top. All right. Then you don't have these two. The two screws at this area here have nothing to do with that. This is just to hold your handle. So you don't need to take that out. All right. Flip it around. Okay, flip it around. All right. And then I already took the screws out on this side, but you're gonna have one here, 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 and here. You don't have to take the brushes out to do this section that I'm doing. You can actually leave it in if you like. All right, but you take the screw out here, here, and then they have arrows showing you the rest of them here, 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 and here. Okay. All right. Okay. This section here. Ah, can you see it? Can you see it? Yes, you can. All right. All right. So then just get like a flathead screwdriver, or for those of us who just don't care, we find a way, some way, somehow. That's the attitude, right? You get a butter knife, okay, and just pop it, and it comes right up and off. Okay, there you go. All right. Next, you're gonna have your this is where the pump is. Now, the leak, I want to let you know what's happening with the leak. Why is it leaking? And some guys ask me, can I just plug it? Can I use something to plug it? Guys, water will find its way through. Okay. That's just the fact. Water will find its way through. It's not going to, um, I don't recommend using glue and stuff like that. It doesn't really work, guys. Okay. This whole glue thing, don't do it. Okay. It's just going to set you up for disaster. All right. So let's get this over here. Let's get this one out. Okay, so there's one screw right down here. Okay, all right. And then we're just gonna pop this off. It just comes right out. Okay, once you get the screw out, just kind of pry it up a little bit to get it up out of here, okay? Here we go. Now I'm going to remove this because it's kind of in my way. This is the main water hose that goes to the turbine that allow you to spray the floor. All right, and it's a little bit in my way. So actually, maybe I can get around it. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can get around it without. Okay, good. All right, so good. Now look how simple this thing is, right? All you really have is you have the main hose here, which is not connected. So if you notice, the main hose for the carpet cleaner is not connected to this at all. This is separate all by itself, okay? This here, all right? This is separate by itself, okay? So there are two hoses that's connected to the reservoir up top. It, one hose is one of the water line is going to go to feed this. If you notice what it's doing is cycling through here. There's a fan on the inside of here that's powered by the suction. And the idea of the fan is to kind of zing the water up so it can kind of have a little bit of pressure to go through the hose. Okay, that's the purpose of this thing here. Okay, and if that wasn't needed, all of these clips and all this stuff wouldn't even be a thing. The screw here, all this stuff they wouldn't need this, but they need the fan. That fan needs to be active, and so that's what's happening. Okay, so really all you would do is don't yank this off because you don't know how delicate this part of the hose is. So you don't want to yank it off, all right? So just kind of you can get something on the inside of that and just kind of pry it a little bit. Just do a little bit of this, not too much, because what you don't want to do is break anything, okay? All right, so just be delicate. So your replacement is going to come looking like this. That's it. That's as simple as it is. The hack that I had, what I did was I took this out. Okay, let me show you. It turns. Well, you would have to. Let me see. Yeah, I may have to. You would have to. You would have to take this hose off to make it easy. Let me see if I can do it without the hose coming off. See, all I did was take this off and plug this right here. Okay, you would remove this hose and plug it. That was the hack, and that would stop the water from flowing, and then the rest of the water is going towards the floor, and then you would cover up this triangle right here. Okay, you will cover this section up because the suction will be escaping, and you don't want that because then you won't have the power to turn your brush. Okay, and that's how simple this thing is to replace. It's not difficult at all, so don't feel like you have to, you know. Let me pull this back up in here. Let me put it back up in here, guys. Let me put it back. Okay, and there you go. You get your replacement. You pop it back in just like that, and you put it back down and you put the screw back in, and it's that simple. All right. Now, the next part of this is I wanted to show you what I believe the problem is. If you're experiencing where the brush turns when it's off the carpet, and the moment it hits the carpet, the suction turns off. What's happening is there's a vent right here. Okay, let me see if you can see it. See right here? Right here. There's a vent, and it gets clogged up with um, carpet fibers. Okay, and you just have to periodically clean this thing out. Periodically clean this out. Okay, and let me see if you can. You see? You should be able to see it. Yes, you can. Let me show you where you can see it from the front of your cleaner. From the front of the cleaner, right? See right here. See that opening right there? Okay. That opening right there is where you get access to it. And all you have to do is just clean that thing off periodically. That will affect the flow. Okay. All right. Now, this turbine, the other issue would be if the fan on the turbine is cracked or broken. That's the other reason that would stop any kind of brush action or really is it will stop the brush. So let me take this apart so you can see it, okay? All right, let's take this apart. All right, here we go. All right, it's really just 3 screws, 1, 2, and 3 for the first part. You're gonna have some screws underneath. All right, let's take this up. Let's take this up here. Okay. All right. Now you have a spring action here, so just try not to lose this here. I do my best to try not to take this off because these things become so fragile and delicate that you can pry it off, but they tend to break. I noticed that when I've worked on these in the past, these things are very fragile, so you have to be very careful when you're trying to take this off. Okay. Right. All right, so let's remove the spring. Just put it someplace safe. You don't want to lose that. Now, let me explain what the spring is for. How's that? So when the machine is in an upright position, what it's doing is closing off a flap. There's a flap. I'll show you the flap, but it's moving this. Move my cord out the way. It's moving this. this little lever here. See that? When it moves it forward, see that? What it's doing? Okay. And it's closing off the air from being pulled into the turbine that's turning that fan. All right. So it's best if you can see what I'm doing. So let me turn it, or let me take this off and turn it around so you can see what's happening. All right. And it's not complicated at all, folks. It's really just moving the screws. Moving screws, take it out and put it back, and remembering I think the biggest problem is remembering where things go. You know, that really it. And if you have to take pictures along the way, you take some pictures along the way, no big deal, okay? Take the pictures along the way. All right, here we go. All right. And I'm going to show you the gears on the inside of this thing. And if you are a do-it-yourself person, uh, I would recommend that if you have one of these machines and you really care for it, just double check this stuff. I don't know why because the water, take the water is coming through these ports here, right? And you would think that it will be really nice and sealed off, but for some reason, it's not as sealed as you would think it should be. Okay, and rust would get build up inside this area, and if this gets rusty, okay, then it won't turn. All right. So periodically, if you really use these machines and you really want to hold on to it and you don't want to have to keep buying shampoos and you have one of these, this is something that you can do as a regular check. All right. Just make sure that this is still doing its job. Okay. Make sure it's still turning. All right. And let me show you. Now, there's also a bearing over here too. And if you notice, there's industrial grease on this thing. Okay. All right. And this comes right out. All right. And this comes up and out. Okay. And right below here, there's a fan. Okay. I want to show you that little mechanism that I was talking about. And let me just take this last screw out here. Dropping things all over the place. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Okay. Let me take this screw out. Now, these clips are delicate. So take your time. There's no rush. There's no need to be kind of a brute. Brutish. I learned that as a kid. Someone was telling me, "Yeah, don't be a bruto. Take your time." All right. Okay. And if you can use your hand, use it. If not, then yeah, you can get a flathead to do it. I'm just kind of removing the clips. All right. I think I got them all. All right. Let me show you the fan. Let me show you the fan. Here you go. Okay. All right. Here's the fan, by the way. And this fan would get just a line. And the only reason that this fan would crack like this, well, not the only, but the main reason is if rust had built up in the bearing area right here and is still trying to turn. And the suction is pulling it and it has so much resistance that the fan would just literally crack right across a straight line, just snap. Okay. All right. And this mechanism I was telling you about, take a look. Every time you put I was going to say curve. Every time you put the spin scrub here, every time you put it in the upright position, it closes the flap, and what it's doing is it's closing off the suction or the airflow. See that? Okay, and that's what it's doing. Okay, that's what it's doing. All right. So air comes in, turns the fan, and it's coming in through this section right here. So the air comes in, it's pulling the motors, pulling all that suction in, and as it's going in, it's turning this fan. As the fan turns, okay, let me show you. As the fan turns, put it here. This gear turns, okay, and as this gear turns, this other gear turns, right? And then as this turn, your brushes are turning, and that's what's happening. Okay. The only other thing you need to look for when you have that problem is to make sure that this is still intact. Okay. Because if this is not intact, then what's going to happen is that the brush is not turning. Now take a look. See, and I mean, it's a simple mechanism. Gosh, think about it. Think of how simple this thing is. All right. So we're using air, not a belt, to turn these brushes so you can clean your carpet. Okay. And once you, it's funny that once you understand how it works, it's like yeah, that's it's not that bad. That's simple enough. And there's other things with this. If some people want to change the power switches, maybe a power switch is not working, you would have to kind of remove the screws on this section here, one, two, three, and get back here where the power switch is hanging out right here. If somebody want to know more about that, just let me know, and I'll try to make a video about this. All right. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's put this back together. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do, let's cover this up. Let's cover up our fan. I may have to take these out because I don't want them to fall while I'm working on it. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let me secure this first. How's that? Yeah, let me secure this part first. Okay. And you're gonna put the two screws in here, and that will allow, yeah, yep, that will allow at least for it to stay steady and you don't have to worry about it falling out on you. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. So now we can turn over. All right. And there it is. All right. Nice little turbine. And here's the other unfortunate part about this turbine setup here. You're not going to find these a lot either. Okay. So I would definitely recommend that if you really want to hold on to this machine, make sure you keep this thing lubricated. Again, this is where the water would go. See that through this little compartment here. So the water really shouldn't make its way to the gears if this is sealed off properly. But if for some reason it does. So maybe that's a design that they're gonna have to kind of improve on that one. All right. Okay. And let's put these screws back in. All right. Okay. And there you go. Really simple way to kind of service your little unit here, right? Is that cool? All right. And we put the screws back, three screws at the top. All right. And voila, you get your spring, put our spring back, put our spring back in here. What am I doing? All right. Want to make sure the camera can pick me up here. All right. So your spring is here. So spring action is working. You just kind of test it. There we go. It's doing its job. All right. And then we put our pump back. Okay. Now, again, this is a little nuisance, so but I'm gonna work my way around it. So you put this back in. There you go. And then find a way to get it underneath this line. If you want, you can remove the line, but I'm able to work with it. Okay. And I'm just trying to get it braced so it can sit properly. Uh, put your tube in back into these little areas to keep it nice and snug. And let's put the screw in here. Uh, maybe I should get the one with the magnet. I don't want it to drop, so I'm gonna get my little magnet screwdriver. Okay, come on now. Here we go. Yes, sweet. Yes, folks. And that's that. So if you have one of these, If it's leaking, most likely it's cracked here. The seal is broken here somewhere. Okay, where these four screws are, or this seal right here is cracked and all that water is just seeping out. That's really what's going on. All right, and then you can just put the cover back on. Nice, simple design. No fuss, no muss. Okay, really. Uh, anyone that has that kind of that curiosity to kind of mess with things, you can do this. And there you go. I hope, and then of course, just put the screws back at the bottom. don't don't forget the screws at the bottom. Okay, and and uh and then you just pop this like this. Make sure these things go in, and there you go. You're all set. All right, guys. So this is the information I wanted to get to you yesterday before my whole life thing went nuts and crazy. But it's getting there. You know what it is? If you're just doing if you're just recording it, it's different because you can always do another take. But when it's live, I may have to get some help to transfer the scenes over so I could do it right. So I got to keep clicking back and forth on. Guys, that's it. Is that simple? All right. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for watching the live again. Come back. It's on Thursdays. But it's on Thursdays. It's on Thursdays. And I'm trying to see if there was one more thing I wanted to share before I go, because there's always something that I'm forgetting. That I said, man, I should have shared this with folks. Okay, oh no. One more thing. Your dirty water tank, okay? Keep keep the dirty water tank as clean as you can. This filter part, okay? Look at that. They got stuff on it. Keep this clean, okay? Um, keep this clean, because what you don't want, you want to eliminate as much of that carpet fibers and stuff to be clogging up everything. All right. And this is what this is. That's all it's for. It's a simple setup, but keep that clean. All right. And that's it. And also just make sure that your seals are on. I've seen people put these on right here and forget to hook it in the back. All right. Because this here will seal off your suction to make sure that you create a proper vacuum in this bin, and then properly lock it in. Make sure you still have this, because if this is kind of open, this will also mess up your suction if it's kind of open like that. Okay, so make sure this is tight. All right, make sure this is sealed off. You don't want to lose this. And that's it, folks. Come back again. Check in. All right. Until then, if you have any other questions, send me your questions. There's go to my landing page, go to my website, go to the contact page on the website. It goes right to my email. I'm able to get all your questions, and I'll be able to help out with the best way I can. All right, folks. I'll talk to you again next time. Stay positive. All right.